Hello! Today we are back. We just got insulation in the last episode and talked about Child Protective Services. So go watch that one if you want to see it. No, they did not come.
They didn't come. Nobody called. Somebody had a question about it.
Yes.
Tara's going to scare everybody.
Heather, you have to make them watch the show.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. How about
There's
elderly abuse? How about elderly abuse?
There's a reason I'm the marketing person.
Yeah. Now is that working for you?
Actually, pretty good now, thank you.
Now.
Dining on Dine Cookbook is the cookbook we wrote. Penny Pinchin' Mama is the tips, Mom's ebook on the tips on how she saved on toothpaste and toilet paper and costumes and clothes and utilities and all that. Those are the tips for that. Mm-hmm. But this is her story that we're telling. You can get all those in the description below. What? Yes. And you can also visit us at livingonadime.com. They're in our store at livingonadime.com. And today we are talking about more kids coming to live with us. So by this point, okay, so here's kind of what happened, just so we can kind of get it, because we're kind of jumping all over the place, but
it's hard for this section of our life.
So what happened was we came down with the chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. My mom and my brother and I all got sick. Came down with the flu, and we never got better. Okay, but what happened was I was sick for about 3 or 4 months. I was sick from the fall through about Christmas, somewhere around there, of I think that would have been my junior year. And then I started feeling better. I'm not sure why, but I did. So I started feeling better, and I was functioning pretty much normally. I would say I was in remission. That's what I used to call it. I used to say I was in remission. And so my last half of my junior year and my senior year, I was feeling fine, and I was working 40 hours a week on top of going to high school, and I was in the, I sang, I was in the madrigals and the choir and all that kind of stuff. So, this is going to be about my senior year of high school, basically.
Yeah. So
this was my senior year. Mom and David, though, were not feeling a lot better. My brother kind of came in and out where he would have episodes.
Yeah, he'd work for a few months, go to school and work, and then he'd get sick, so he'd have to quit his job and rest, and it was going back and forth. And I was down.
And it finally got to the point for my brother where he had to go to a special school, and it was for kids who were like drug addicts or got pregnant or something like that, but they were also accepted kids who had special illnesses, special needs that were not normal special needs. I mean, I say normal special needs, but I mean just the kids that the regular school couldn't help.
Yeah.
And
see, he couldn't go to regular school times. We didn't know what days he was going to be sick, and they were really snarky kind of like about attendance, where this school you worked at your own pace. As you know, if you took 6 years to graduate, you took 6 years.
As long as you did it before you were 21.
Yeah. And they had couches in the classroom if the kids need to lay down and rest. And he actually ended up graduating with A's and earlier than a normal high school.
Yeah, and there were a few kids there that they had to work to support their parents.
Yeah, something like that.
And they went to that school. And so it was a special charter school. So that's how my brother ended up getting graduated a couple of years later.
Yeah. But
for me, I stayed in the traditional high school, and so this is my senior year.
Senior year, yeah.
Yep. So,
Tara's best friend was an exchange student from Sweden at that time, and it was just barely into the school year, and she was having problems with her host family, so she was going to have to go back to Sweden unless she found a home.
Looking back on it now, I am pretty sure her host mom was bipolar.
Oh.
I'm sure she was. Because looking back on it now, because I stayed the night a couple times, just for sleepovers, and looking back now, knowing what bipolar is, I think that's what she was.
Because we had no problem with Pia at all. You know, she was perfectly fine.
Oh, yeah.
And so Tawra asked if Pia could live with us. And so I said, oh, sure, let's add something more to the mix here. No, not really. I said that was fine. Because, you know, like Tawra said, they were seniors. And Tawra, neither one of my kids, I had no problems with them doing, I mean, they didn't do the normal teenage stuff, I guess. Normal in the fact where they didn't sass me, they didn't really disobey me. They were really good kids, you know. They didn't do stuff they weren't supposed. I don't think you did you?
Oh, my goodness, I was too busy.
Yeah,
I didn't have time.
Yeah, they were both working. Yeah. They were both trying to do school. They were making good grades, and they didn't. Even though Tawra felt better, she still had a little bit more of a low grade energy level, you know, than probably average. And David had almost none at all, so that helped. That was one reason I just didn't have much trouble. So to have Pia come over, live with us. It wasn't really, and Pia was really good too, you know. So they were all really good. So it wasn't a hardship on me to do that. Well, come graduation, it was so funny. I said our house on graduation day was like the UN. We had Pia, who was from Sweden. Then the other boy that ran around with Pia and Tawra was an exchange student, and he was Nick from Holland. And then we had, Brazil? Did you say Argentina? We had Argentina.
We had Brazil and Argentina.
And I thought we had somebody from Japan.
And Japan, and there was one or two others. And
we did have another American.
Yeah, but
I can't remember who.
I can't remember the other two countries. I think maybe was another one Germany or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But
yeah,
anyway,
so we had basically all the exchange students kind of, I guess, came to our home because, like Tawra said, their host families didn't want to give them a graduation party, and I was having a small one for Tawra, so they came to. It was kind of like for all of them, the graduation party. So, but then after graduation, Tawra got a scholarship to go to Sweden. Go to college in Sweden at the University of Sweden. And I was thinking the other day, when she graduated, they were announcing, there weren't a whole lot, but they were announcing the ones that got scholarships to go to like the barber college for 2 weeks, you know, or the hair cutting place, which is all fine, you know, if those were good that they got those scholarships, or like this community college. And here's Tawra going to the University of Sweden, which is kind of a big deal to get into this, you know, and everything. And they forgot to announce hers. And I always thought, I was thinking...
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was thinking the other day, there was a verse in the Bible that I'd read, that I've seen it before, that it says, if unjustly you don't get something, or something's taken away from you, you know, God's going to give you double back of that, you know. A lot of times he'll give you double of what you missed out on. And I was kind of chuckling to myself because here we were disappointed because they hadn't announced it for like maybe 500, maybe 1,000. I
haven't been stewing on it for the last 27 years.
No, we haven't stewed about it. It just because I was doing
first I have thought about it since graduation.
Because I was just doing this video, I happened to think about it. You know, back then I thought how we were kind of disappointed when it happened at the time, but we haven't been thinking about it, and this just brought back to mind. And here, so they didn't announce it then, and now here we're announcing it to like thousands of people, you know, so it does come back, you know, the good stuff comes back in a way. But anyway, so she went there. I don't know if I should even tell this part or if you should tell this part, because we were trying to we had to hurry for you said you went on vacation.
So right after, my aunt and uncle, mom's brother, came out for my graduation, and then they decided to go to Silver Dollar City in Branson after graduation, and invited Pia and I think David went too. And so right after graduation, we went out there for a week, but then we only had a week when we came back to pack for Sweden because we were leaving then.
Yeah, and we had to pack a year's worth of stuff, of winter stuff, because
I wasn't sure I was going to even come back, actually. Yeah. I had gone with the intention of never coming back to the United States, really.
Yeah, she was excited about going over there.
I was just planning on staying over there. I liked it over. I thought it was. I'd never been to Sweden, but I'd been to Germany before. in Austria and Switzerland. And I liked it over there. So I really had no intention of coming back to the U.S. permanently. I thought I was moving there, really.
Yeah, and we didn't have the money at the time for her to replace stuff when she got over there. So we had to pack heavy winter coats and boots, and she only had 2 suitcases to pack a year's worth of stuff in. And Pia said, they don't have Alka-Seltzer over there. They don't have Tums over there. All these were types of things Tawra was using at the time, somewhat. And so we were wash rags. She said that we don't use wash rags over there in Sweden. They maybe do now, but they didn't at the time. So we were even packing little things like doing the wash rags and stuff like that. So it was hair raising trying to get in 1 week's time, getting all this stuff packed up into the 2 suitcases and getting you, ready to use. So they left and went over there. And she spent about, a month and a half, 6 weeks or something like that. She'd had a pen pal.
For several years,
yeah. For a long time.
In Germany.
And the pen pal asked Tawra to come stay with them before school started. And so she went there for about 6 weeks. Did you want to tell about that? Or?
It was interesting. So it ended up not being the wonderful vacation type thing that I was hoping it would be, because the family was a little weird. Actually, they were really weird. And so I was there at their house for like a week, and then they went on vacation. And we do vacations wrong here in America. I'm sorry. People are messed up here.
Speak for yourself.
When it comes to vacations.
Yes.
What they do there is, or they used to do this, they would rent a cabin on the sea. I should have looked it up before the show. I don't even, whatever sea is over there. I can't even remember now. But they rent a cabin on the sea, and you just go and sit in this cabin and sit on the beach for 6 weeks. That's all you do.
Be so nice.
I'm like, yeah, now that's how to have a vacation. And so then we did that. Well, at the time, my nails started growing out, and I was a nail biter for years. I really bit my nails bad. I mean, it was clear down. I mean, I'm not kidding. It would be clear down here. I would bite them. And
the doctor said you were an oral person, so that's why you did that.
So I started painting my fingernails because they were actually growing. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I can have fingernail polish on my nails. Because for some reason I'd stopped biting them there. And they thought I was doing drugs. They thought I was sniffing the nail polish. Apparently they had a daughter who was really into drugs, and that was one thing she did, was sniff the nail polish. I didn't know that was a drug thing.
I didn't either at the time.
And so they were convinced I was doing drugs. So then they were even weirder with me. And that was just a nightmare. Well, then the stress of that kind of started snowballing, and I started getting sick again. And finally, I had to call Mom one day, and I said, you've got to send me some Jell-O or something. I am so sick. I can't eat anything. I'm nauseated all the time. And it was like $10 a minute or some ridiculous price to make a phone call back then. So it was like a 2-minute phone call.
So she'd just say, send some Jell-O.
And
then I would get Jell-O out of the boxes, and I'd try to stuff it in a little envelope because it would be cheaper. And even that, like, I think I put 3 or 4 bags of Jell-O in one little envelope, and it was like $25. Yeah. It wasn't like now where you have the internet, where you could order things or anything.
And they wouldn't let me go to the store or anything because they thought I was doing drugs. So they thought that if I left their site, then I was going to buy drugs from somebody. I'm like, oh my goodness, people. So I couldn't go to the store, nothing. It was crazy. So then got through that. Went to Holland then to see Nick, who was an exchange student in America, and his family invited me to come stay with them. So I stayed with them like 2 weeks. And that went pretty well.
She had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, that did. No, I mean, that did go really well. As a matter of fact,
yeah, they're still friends. Yeah, you're still friends with them and talk to them all the time.
Yeah, we're still friends with Nick's mom on Facebook. And actually, BJ is in Luxembourg right now and might go meet her in Amsterdam.
And she even came over, and I got to meet them and everything.
Yeah. So that was a ton of fun. they were really, really nice. They didn't think I was doing it. And so that was really, really fun. They lived on a houseboat on a canal. It was really cool. Total Holland all the way. I mean, they were as Holland as you get. So anyway, so I went to Holland and did that. But then by the time I got back to Sweden, I was starting to get really sick. And I went to go start college on the first day of college, and I was sitting there in that classroom, and I was like, there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to learn a language, get a job to pay my expenses, and go to college. I was just like,
too sick.
There's no way I can do this. And it wasn't a first day jitters type thing, because I'm the kind of person that I just do. Mike tells you guys all the time, I just get an idea and I do it. And I wasn't about to leave. But then I was sitting there in that classroom and I was like, I don't think I can do this. P and I had gone to Stockholm. It was a day or two before. And we had walked around Stockholm and we were shopping and we were looking at stuff. And they walk everywhere there. And it was good in one sense that because we walked so much that my knee surgery that I'd had before that still had not healed, had healed from the exercise of walking. And I was trying not to walk because it hurt so bad. And I had no choice but to walk there. And because of that, my knee surgery healed. So that was kind of, maybe my whole purpose was to go over there to
get your knee fixed.
I don't know. But anyway, so I called Mom and I was like,
yeah, she called me. And like Tawra said, she's the type, she won't give up. Once she makes her mind she's going to do something, she'll plow through it to the end. She's very responsible, and she'll just, once she commits, she sticks through with it. Well, she called me, and she was really bad. I could tell from her voice and everything. And, you know, she's now, I considered her adult, and I didn't want to tell her what to do, but I thought, this is one time I think she's wanting me to tell her, you need to come home. Somebody to give her permission. You can give up and you can come home, you know, basically, because she wasn't going to give up. Yeah. And I told her, I said, you come home and you come home right now, because if you wait any longer, I was afraid she'd not make it, that she'd have to be put in the hospital for a long period of time or something, or she just wouldn't have anybody to take care of her because, you know, being in a strange country with a strange family, there wouldn't be anybody really to take care of her. And,
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Well, and so I said, you come home and you come home now. And she called that day and got reservations.
And I just thought of something. Just this second, I just thought of this, actually. For all you people who keep telling us that to cure our chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, all we need to do is eat organic food, sit in the sauna, and relax.
Oh, yeah, I know where you're going with this.
It's not the cure. It may help, and I'm not saying it doesn't help with some things, because I do those things. I do the sauna and I do those things. And in some people it will help, but I was eating pure from the garden in Sweden food. They had gardens like Alaska. It was crazy. I've never seen strawberries so big. We ate nothing but fruits and vegetables straight from the garden, no pesticides, none of that stuff. They did not have a bathtub or a shower at all. All you did was sit in the sauna there. And I sat in the sauna every single day. And that was all of Europe. In Germany, that's how they ate. In Holland, because it was kind of strange to me to eat fruit and cheese for my lunch. Not that we had bad lunches. It was just they just ate differently over there. And like we would fix a tuna salad on crackers, or an egg salad on crackers or something, or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or whatever. But there, everything was fresh. And they went to the grocery store every single day. I'm like, why are you going to the grocery store every day? But that's all they didn't have big kitchens.
Yeah,
they didn't have
refrigerators.
The refrigerator was like this big. I mean, really, it was small. And it wouldn't keep most American sodas.
Yeah.
Their refrigerators wouldn't. And back then. Nowadays, they have American refrigerators now back there.
A little bit more.
But, so their refrigerators were, so they ate fresh food
and you got worse instead of.
So for a full 2 months, so mind you, I was feeling better before I left on the trip. Go on the trip.
Eating the bad stuff, so-called bad stuff.
Go on the trip and I'm eating all this pure, healthy food all the time, sitting in the sauna, and I'm getting sicker than a dog. So that's another reason, I hadn't thought about this, but that's another reason why we are not convinced that the whole organic, pesticide-free stuff and all that is going to it's not going to cure us.
No,
I mean, I did it. It's not going to cure us. So anyway, I have no idea what we were talking about before I got on that. But
well, just then you were going to come home, and she did.
Oh, yeah.
She arrived home within a week, I think about a week or so.
Yeah, it took a week for me to get
She made reservations, and when she got there, I didn't think she was going to crawl off that plane. She looked so bad, and so she was really, really sick. And I think what we'll do is stop here, maybe, and
okay,
go on to the next.
Okay.
Next one, will that work?
Yep, so I crawled off the plane.
Oh, that was a nightmare.
All right, guys, please visit us at livingonadime.com and check out our Dining on a Dime cookbook. It's in the description below. Mom's Penny Pinchin' Mama is in the description below also. Those are the tips on what she used. And we will be back for the next episode, which is going to be, oh yeah, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah,
okay, so we'll be on the next episode.
Bye-bye. Bye.